Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making soap. Now, why are we going to be doing this? Because there's so many great benefits. I like making my own stuff. Soap is one of those because you can save some money. I personally like to know what's going into a lot of the stuff that I'm either eating or I'm putting on my body. And with a lot of commercial soaps, go and look at the labels. They're made from detergents and all this kind of stuff that frankly, I don't know what half of it is. So that is why I got interested in making soap. And so today I'm going to show you a recipe, nice and easy, really quick, easy to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's go over the steps. All right, so there are a couple ingredients. Once again, very simple. All it is water, we have lye, and then we have oil. You can use different oils. In this recipe, I'm just using olive oil. I typically like to use olive oil and coconut oil. They both create like a really nice soap, but I will put in some resources below, one of them being soapcalc.net. Now this is a great resource to use. I've been using it with a lot of my recipes, and you can plug in your water amounts, your lye, and your oils to get like the perfect amount of ratios and calculations you need to make the recipe. So I will list that in the description below. And once again, that is soapcalc.net. And I'll also include a lot of the different things like the lye and the oils where you can get those. I'll leave those in the description below. So let's go ahead and take a look at them and I'll show you what they are. All right, so first ingredient is your lye, and it really just looks like this. It looks like almost like a laundry detergent or a salt. This is the stuff you need to be careful with, and I'll go over the steps with that in a second. You've got your water, and I've got everything measured out here already. We're using olive oil in this batch, and I recommend with your oils, they don't have to be, really great food grade stuff. This is just going to be soap, so it's going on your skin. And so you can buy a lot of this stuff in bulk, like at Walmart, some of the boxed stores. And this is the best way to get your oil, at least the cheapest way to get it, because you can get a lot of it for a lot cheaper. That is our olive oil mixed out. And then our last thing that we have, kind of like for a fragrance. You don't have to use this if you want it like unscented, but you can just get any kind of like essential oil. We're gonna be using lemongrass. I love the smell of this. It has a super great smell, super clean. I will leave the link for this one below so you can find out where I got that one. All right, so let's talk about how to make it. And one tool that you will want, you don't have to have, but I like having this. A lot of people have these little hand mixers. They're cheap and they're really efficient on mixing everything together to make sure you got a nice blend through and everything's smooth. So I highly recommend that. The next thing you'll need too is some way to form or shape your soap. Now, I got these from my mother-in-law, which is great. Thank you, mother-in-law. These were just off Amazon. I'll leave the links to these below as well. These are nice, just little soap molds right here, but you can, even if you don't have these or you don't want to get these, you can use a cookie sheet, or even I've used a baking pan, like a banana bread baking pan before, and it's worked as well. So it's all about how you want to form your soap. All right, so number one step, we're gonna go ahead and mix the lye and the water. Now this is kind of the dangerous part because it does produce some toxic fumes that come off, which you don't wanna be breathing, you don't wanna be around. And I think some people have done it in their house. I don't recommend doing that. I just say go outside, go on the front porch, whatever, and mix the two. And what I like to do is make sure you've got your water, and what we're gonna do when we go outside is we're gonna dump it in and just stir it. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and start mixing the two. Slowly add this in and start mixing, and try to get some distance on it because you don't wanna be too close to it. You'll see it kind of heat up a bit, and then you might see little fumes go off, but be very careful on this. And for those of you that are doing this for the first time, make sure you're wearing gloves. I've done this plenty of times, so I know what I'm doing, but you'll see how it kind of starts to pour off some fumes there, and it'll get very hot, so be careful. So we've got our lime water mixture. Be very careful with this. We've let it cooled. It's been about 7 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and mix it with the oil very slowly. We'll blend that up, and then we'll add in our fragrance. And once that's done, we'll start pouring them up into the forms. So you want to keep blending. This is looking really good right here, and then I'll start adding in my fragrance. And I'll just do that till I like the scent or the strength of it. All right, so we got it all mixed through very nicely. Set that right there, and then we'll just start pouring. All right, so we are done, we are complete. This was super easy to do. Just a couple ingredients. So why not make your own soap? I think it's a great idea. You save some money. You know what goes into your soap, which is nice to know. And as of this, the forms are done. So we're gonna let these set and cure. And as far as recommended times, I recommend letting them dry as long as you can. Now, I've used soap the next day after it was cured, and it's fine. But what I realized is the longer you let it dry out, once you take them out of the molds, I would take them out of the molds the next day and let them dry on a rack so that they can really dry out. And the drier they get, it seems like the soap will last much longer. And this is just an example of soap I've made before out of these forms, and it's such great stuff. And this is what I recommend here. If you're gonna store your soap on your countertop where your sink is, I recommend trying to get some kind of airflow underneath your soap when you go to set it down. Because if you set it down on a flat surface and there's any moisture underneath, it'll get all gummy and nasty. And these are really nice. I'll share the link with these. And this helps them dry out. They're just soap savers is what they're called. Yeah.